They called the police because we broke a chair on the way out the door and I refused to pay for it. And the cops showed up, and at that point, I had the right to remain silent, but I didn't have the ability.
Two totally different things.
I'm so proud of myself today. I'm so proud of myself. You know why?
All right, y'all. Another comedian you guys are hipping me on to. Ron White. I'm going to leave it at that. I have no clue what I'm about to get into. I don't know his comedy style yet. That's always the treat for me. You know, going into this, learning their comedy style. So far, I don't think we had any clean comedy yet. You guys hadn't mentioned any clean comedy. Any clean comedians out there you guys enjoy? Just asking. I don't know what Ron White's going to do. I don't know if he's on the clean side or not, but we are going to find out. Without further ado, like the video. Just asking. Subscribe to the channel if you feel up to it today, though. Just asking. Before we get into this, Ron White, here he is. Let's see what's going on here.
I got thrown out of a bar in New York City.
Why did they go crazy for that?
Now, when I say I got thrown out of a bar, I don't mean somebody asked me to leave. And we walked to the door together, and I said, bye, everybody, I gotta go. 6 bouncers hurled me out of a nightclub like I was a Frisbee. Those big old bouncers that go home every night, watch Roadhouse and beat off. You know what I'm talking about? Patrick Swayze's hitting another guy. For wearing a hat. I walk into a bar with a hat on. This guy real pissy goes, took off the hat. I'm like, what's the deal? He goes, I'll tell you what the deal is. Faggots in this area wear hats. We're trying to keep them out of a club. I'm like, oh, really? The only way we could tell down south is if they have their hair cut like yours.
That was cold.
And he got all pissed. But he walked away, and I took the hat off, and like an hour later, I'd been drinking, and I forgot. You ever forget? Happened to me. I put the hat back on. The guy comes over to me. Now, I'm between 6'1" and 6'6", depending on which convenience store I'm leaving.
That's a big boy.
I weigh 235 pounds. This guy comes over to me, poking me in the shoulder with 2 fingers, says, you're out of here. I'm like, I don't think so, Scooter. And I was wrong. They hurled my ass. And then they squared off with me in the parking lot, and I backed down from the fight because I don't know how many of them it would have taken to whip my ass. But I knew how many they were going to use.
As many as it takes. Anyone ever been thrown out the bar? You know, I like to ask questions. Anyone ever been tossed out the bar for being too intoxicated? It's one thing I haven't, had the luxury of. New York makes it sound like a luxury. I've been thrown out of a bar. Yeah! Woo-hoo! You're one of us now. So yeah, I haven't had the luxury of being thrown out yet. Especially by the bouncer. I haven't gotten that intoxicated to where I was wilding out. This a big dude, 6'1", 200 and something pounds. It's a big boy. It's gonna take a big boy to move him.
A handy little piece of information to have right there. Overkill. Well, they called the police because we broke a chair on the way out the door and I refused to pay for it. And the cops showed up, and at that point, I had the right to remain silent, but I didn't have the ability.
Two totally different things.
The cop says, Mr. White, you are being charged with drunk in public. I was like, hi. I was drunk in a bar. They threw me into public. I don't want to be drunk in public. I want to be drunk in a goddamn bar, which is perfectly legal. Arrest them.
Yeah. In a weird way, that logic makes sense. Are we tripping here, guys? He was drunk in the bar, which is legal. I could be tripping here. But what he said makes a lot of sense to me. He has a point. Cops, up around side right here. Arrest them other men.
Drunk in a goddamn bar, which is perfectly legal, arrest them. Well, he didn't arrest them. Instead, they call in for my arrest record. There's some good news. Satellites are linking up in outer space. Computer banks at NASA are kicking on.
NASA.
There's a telegraph in Fritch, Texas going beep 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 beep
It's extensive, jeez. Run.
This part takes a while. Shorthand. Beep.
He's a rebel.
Now, I told you that story to tell you this story. When I was 17 years old, I was arrested for being drunk in public. Seemed to be a pattern. If you knew Morse code, you would already know that. And one DWI, which was a bogus charge because it turns out they were stopping every vehicle traveling down that particular sidewalk. And that's profiling, I believe.
If they weren't stopping every vehicle, he would have got
The
away
drunk in
clean.
public charge and Fritz, the arresting officer, who I had literally known all my life. You know what I mean? This guy lived 4 doors down from me in a town of less than 400 people. We've met. He takes me to jail. When we get there, he asked me if I have any aliases, and I was just being a smart ass and said, yeah, they call me Tater Salad.
Hey, where is this guy from? Is he from the South? Ron, it just sounds at that Tater Salad. Nasser. He gives me this South vibe. I don't know. I just looked him up, guys. It's my first experience with him. He seems like a rebel. He get the alcohol in him. Might get rough. It might get rough. And not for Ron. He's a big boy, too. He's 6'1". Imagine him in the bar, guys. You know what? I don't know if it's because I live in Ohio or not. I never see these giants. Where are they? Did the NBA snatch them all up? Like, you don't just see a tall 6'5", NBA height guy. Why don't you see them normally? You go to the mall, everyone's just normal height. You don't see that one twin tower, just skying over everyone else. 7 foot, 6'8". You'd be like, why is this dude? You know what? That's why we don't see him. Because if we see him, we'll just be like, why aren't you in the NBA? Why are you down here with us, man? You should be in the NBA. Imagine being 6'8" or something. Anybody 6'5" or something like that in the comments? That's just tall for no reason. I mean, I guess that's a nice build, though.
"17 years later in New York City, I'm handcuffed on a bench with blood coming out of my nose. And this cop goes, are you Ron Tater Salad White? You caught me. You caught the tater. You can take down those roadblocks now. I call my son Tater Tot. And Poot.
Oh, that's not enough. Yeah, see, these little clips, guys, that you send, it's not enough. You send the clips, I get a lot of them out of comments of the video. When the video does well, I can look in the comments and people usually leave links to other videos and they get likes or they mention other videos we should watch. That's how I find a lot of these videos. But this clip was just not enough to, enjoy Ron enough. 5 minutes? Just when you start to like him. just when you think you're out, they pull you back in. I probably screwed that up. I've been watching The Sopranos. Even though I know that's not a Soprano reference, they told me that's a Godfather reference, which is, I haven't looked at that, so I don't know. But I got it from Sopranos. But yeah, it's not enough time to enjoy Ron the way I need to. I need more, guys. At least the clips have to be at least 10, 15 minutes. This is around the time I start warming up to them, learning a little bit of their delivery. It's hard to do that in 5 minutes. This is what I try to learn when I'm watching a comedian. Are they deadpan? Like, how their delivery? I can't talk today for some reason. Everything is screwed up. Sorry about that. I apologize. But yeah, I try to go in and dissect their delivery and how the audience perceives them, and certain nuances, the way they walk around stage. He gives me like a Dice Man thing with the cigarette. Just stuff like that. Is he gonna sit down? I just look for all of the weird stuff like that, and also listen to try to understand. He's more of a storyteller, it seems like. He tells the story. It seems like he tells stories of his life. He's one of those comedians. He's been in a lot of shit. He has a lot of stuff to tell you. He comes and tell you. You laugh. It's Ron White. I need more. I need more, guys. What should we do? Help me out in the comments. Till next time.